FUE scar repair in the donor area, you would say? I'm sure you never heard of FUE scar repair. You've only been hearing about FUT scar repairs because FUT has been denigrated time and again because of the scars it produces. And if you search for hair transplant scar repair, it is well possible that you will only find results for FUT scar repair and not for FUE scar repair. Am I right? But increasingly, more and more people are shying away from FUE because of over-harvesting. Clinics and also the patients wanting more and more grafts in single sessions. Patients not wanting to return for a second procedure. Clinics pandering to each and every demand of the patient. Irrational demands are being met through large number of grafts in single sessions. And this leads to over-harvested donor, confluent scarring, patchiness, and the FUE procedure gets defamed. Take a video of the marking. So this is the first time I've done FUE scar repair on the insistence of the patient. After having explained to this patient the other ways in which he could have disguised these scars through scalp micropigmentation, growing his hair a little longer, or cutting his hair real short. But he didn't want anything like that. So we ended up placing FUE grafts in his FUE scars in the donor area. We all get FUE hair transplant done for the simple reason because we do not want scarring. Or that is what we have been told. A well done procedure, a well done FUE procedure will not cause obvious FUE scarring in the donor area. But there are many clinics which throw caution to the wind. Every procedure will have scars. Every surgery produces scars. That is the innate property of surgical procedures. You have scars in the donor area, you have scars in the recipient area. But scars should be minimal. They should not be obvious even to the keen eye. A hair transplant procedure, once done, should not be obvious. The donor area should look after the procedure same as it looked before the procedure. And this can only happen if we do not over-harvest. But then there are so many clinics doing over-harvesting. We all have seen cases where the donor area can be made out from a long distance. Whenever skin is breached surgically, the body heals itself by scarring. This is the normal process. Every wound will form scars. Some obvious and some not so obvious. And if the wound is done surgically, the scars can barely be made out because scars can be disguised. So how do wounds heal? How do surgical wounds heal? Surgical wounds have two ways to heal. One is by primary intention and the other is through secondary intention. Primary intention means when the margins of the wound are coapted and they heal with very little scarring which can barely be made out. An FUT scar heals by primary intention, whereas an FUE scar, and we are talking only about the donor area, the FUE scar, since it's a circular wound and the margins are not coapted, and you can't coapt a margin of a circular wound which is 0.8 to 0.9 millimeters in diameter. There is no way to close such a small wound. So this wound will heal by secondary intention by laying down scar tissue, by epidermal migration and scar formation. And any scar that forms is paler than the surrounding skin. If a large punch size is used, there are clinics which use 1.5 or 2 millimeter punches as well, though those numbers are fast dwindling. And these form very confluent scarring, and patchiness can be seen from a long distance. In the recipient area, on the other hand, scarring of FUT and scarring of FUE has no difference whatsoever. The recipient area, whether you do FUT or FUE hair transplant, is dealt with similarly. These two techniques, FUE and FUT, are differentiated only by the way they handle the donor area. So coming to this patient, he received a hair transplant, a FUE hair transplant at another clinic. And the scarring was pretty much confluent. And since he was from the security services, he had to get a close haircut done. It is obvious that in this scarring, a punch size of 1.2 millimeter diameter has been used. This is a large punch size which will form divots and will result in obvious scarring which can be seen from a long distance. So we went on to fill this up with grafts. One graft, which contained preferably 2 to 3 hair, was placed in each FUE scar. क्या काम करते हो आप? आर्मी में?
मैं सर पुलिस में हिमाचल पुलिस में।
कहाँ पोस्टर हो आप?
मैं सर देरा में
अच्छा।
पुलिस स्टेशन देरा।
A point to note here is that we would not have done the procedure. We would have convinced the patient against the procedure if he had shown signs of progression to extensive baldness. If he had a strong history of extensive baldness in the family. We actually did it quite reluctantly because the patient was from the security services. The patient wanted a one-time measure to treat his donor area, and because he did not have a strong family history of baldness, and there was no sign to suggest that he is going to have extensive baldness in future. So wounds that heal by primary intention and wounds that heal by secondary intention. A primary intention wound, as I discussed earlier, is a wound in which the margins are coapted and very little scar formation happens. Whereas in secondary intention, there is epidermal migration from one edge to the other because the edges are not coapted. The wound is paler than the surrounding area and there is increased scar formation. This wound has higher chances of being made out from a distance. Though the very reason why people choose FUE, why people chose FUE about 10-12 years back, and they continue to do so, is because there is no linear scarring. A well done linear scar of FUT is much better than scarring like in this patient. So which is a primary wound and which is a secondary wound after a hair transplant? Primary wound is the FUT scar. Primary wound is the recipient area in which there is a slit made and a graft is fed. So the margins are coapted. The margins do not have to heal by scar formation. So that also is a wound which heals by primary intention. A secondary intention healing wound is a wound of FUE in the donor area. It is also the wound of scar excision in a badly done hair transplant along the hairline. These areas heal by scar formation or what is called as secondary intention. So secondary intention wounds, if they are big, have a higher chance of being seen from a distance than wounds which are closed primarily and there is no excessive hypertrophic scar formation or keloid formation. So what are the other treatments which we can offer when scarring happens after a hair transplant? When scarring happens after a hair transplant, an FUT hair transplant, we can offer the patient either trichophytic closure if it was not done previously. We can offer the patient W-plasty closure, that is Z-plasty closure after scalp stretching exercises so that the scar doesn't stretch again. We can offer scalp micropigmentation in both FUT scars and in FUE scars. For FUE scars, the most ideal treatment is scalp micropigmentation. Scalp micropigmentation, if done well and if the color blends with the rest of the hair, which sometimes it doesn't blend and it looks even more ugly than otherwise it would look. So if the color of the scalp micropigmentation blends well with the rest of the hair, nobody can make out an FUE over-harvested donor area from a normal area, even if the hair is very closely trimmed. Sometimes we come across scarring in the recipient area when the grafts were very thick, grafts in which the positioning of the grafts has been done wrongly. The epidermis of the grafts is flush with the skin surface and it causes tenting of grafts, which is a very ugly appearance along the hairline. This, when it happens, can be treated through laser ablation or through dermabrasion. Scarring is innate to the body. Scarring is innate to the technique of hair transplant. Scarring is innate to the skill of the surgeon who's doing the hair transplant. At the end, I would like to say that there is nothing like a well-done hair transplant. A hair transplant which has been done with due diligence. The patient selection has been appropriate and the skill of the surgeon and his team is optimal. Also, the patient has to realize that scarring is inalienable from any surgical procedure and hair transplant is also a surgical procedure. It is only a well-done hair transplant which will give him scarring which is very subtle, scarring which is not obvious from a distance, and scarring with which he can sport various hairstyles. Well, that is the talk for today. And don't forget to watch this video which shows the revision of a scar in the donor area after an FUT hair transplant. Have a nice day and God bless you.